Stephen and Carolyn, thieves have known about this GM Weeks and they're taking advantage of it big time. If you drive an Escalade or other GM SUV, you'd better be careful where you park it. It could be gone in 14 seconds.
Overgrown alley in a forsaken section of Detroit's east side. Here sits a symbol of Detroit elegance and style. A 2007 Escalade up on blocks. Fancy wheels? Gone. Navigation system and radio? Gone. Shift lever pulled down. Window busted out. And rear bumper bashed in. Day after day, other classy caddies are ending up the same way.
How many times has your Escalade been stolen?
7. 7. They stole it as easily as they stole clothes out of a store.
Available DVD entertainment system, stripping and chrome.
The Cadillac Escalade is one fine machine. A ride favored by rap stars.
Cadillac grills, Cadillac mills. Check out the oil my Cadillac spills.
The rich and famous and regular folks. Unfortunately, it's also a favorite of thieves. According to the Highway Loss Data Institute, the Escalade has the highest theft rate of any vehicle on the road, and the average loss per vehicle is among the highest. Harold Maeder investigates car thefts for insurance companies.
There's probably $10,000 of damage to this vehicle.
Maeder says thieves are stealing Escalades to sell the parts.
Well, there's big demand and big money. The wheels are a fortune. That's why they primarily take the Escalades.
The Escalade is #1, but its siblings, the Tahoe and Yukon Denali, are also being targeted for parts because they too can be ripped off in a flash. In fact, you're about to see one snatched off the street in just 14 seconds. How is that possible? How could an expensive car like this be stolen that quickly? The Action News investigators are about to expose a GM security flaw.
You can't steal an Escalade or virtually any other new car these days by driving them away. That's because the key has a computer chip. And without the key, you can't start the engine.
They're stealing them, but they're not driving them.
What they're doing is pushing them away. That's how they got Reverend Jesse Jackson's Escalade a few weeks ago. It was found stripped on this vacant lot. How do they do it? They break a window and crawl into the driver's seat. That doesn't set off an alarm. Then they force the gear lever out of park so the SUV can be pushed.
Moves freely. It's supposed to be locked up here so you can't get it down into neutral.
Our expert says that's a security flaw. It's too easy to force it out of park. And there's another problem.
It has no steering wheel lock in it, so if you push it, you can steer it.
General Motors took that off a few years back when they instituted the security systems, figuring the car can't be driven.
But it can be pushed away, and you're about to see just how quick and easy it is. Watch the top of your screen. That's a GM Tahoe pulling into a parking spot. The driver gets out and walks into the store. Suddenly, a man appears, followed by an old pickup truck. Now watch carefully. The man approaches the Tahoe. Hold it right there. He raises his hand and smashes the window out with something heavy. While the man is crawling into the front seat, the pickup truck pulls into position. He pushes the Tahoe around the corner and heads down the street. Gone in 14 seconds.
You probably have it down the block or around the corner or where you're going to hide it and stripped within 20 minutes.
I love the truck, but I won't buy one again.
This is Kenneth Coleman, and this is Coleman's '07 Yukon Denali. It was stolen 4 times in 14 months, each time pushed away and stripped. They got it twice right out of his driveway. After the first time, he padlocked the gate, but that didn't stop him.
When they stole it, they took it loose from over here at the hinges and pulled the whole gate to over here.
Now he has the hinge sides padlocked too, but he's afraid to drive the Denali, and his insurance rates have gone up. Remember Mary Fazell? She says her insurance company shelled out more for repairs on her 7 thefts than she originally paid for the Escalade. Each theft averaged between $10,000 and $13,000. Insurance companies are taking it on the chin.
They're kind of mad because it's costing them thousands and thousands of dollars when GM has the engineers and should have the capacity to solve this problem.
So what does GM have to say? They declined to do an on-camera interview, but a Cadillac spokesman told me the company is very concerned about security. He says bit by bit, they've been working to tighten security on these SUVs.
In 2010, GM put laminated glass in the side windows to slow the thieves down, and they put locks back on the steering columns. But it hasn't solved the problem. This 2010 Escalade was found in the same alley, the front end cut off, and the push car, a stolen Jeep, sitting right next to it with the engine still running. This 2011 Denali had only 100 miles on it when it was stolen from Eastern Market. So why hasn't the GM fix worked?
Scott, this is a 2010-11 column out of an Escalade.
Harold Maeder knows why. An insurance company donated this steering column so Maeder could find out why the lock is failing. When the car is shut off, that small pin is pushed up into one of the slots on the ring, locking the wheel in place. But Maeder found a weak spot, a piece of metal that is easily cracked, allowing the thieves to unlock the wheel quickly.
They tried to fix the problem. If they'd went a little heavier on what they did, it would have probably slowed the thieves down. This way here, it doesn't take too long to defeat it.
So folks driving Escalades, Tahoes, and Denali's are still vulnerable. But Mary Fazell doesn't have to worry anymore. After 7 thefts, she defaulted on her lease and told GM to take her Escalade back. By the way, Mary is retired. She put in 32 years at General Motors.
And I felt really bad about it because it was a GM product, and I worked for GM for so long. You know, it was very disappointing.
You can't make a car that's impossible to steal, but for thieves, time is the enemy. If it takes too long to steal a car, they just won't go after it. But when you can get a car with expensive parts in just 14 seconds, it makes it a very attractive target.
Oh, yeah.
It's eye-opening. Scott, now you said there's a high demand on the street for those parts. Who's buying the parts?
It's a good question, and GM thinks the police need to put more effort into finding out who's fencing this, because if nobody will buy the parts, there's no reason to steal the car. I'm hoping some Channel 7 viewers will call me, too, because I'd like to look into that.
Now, most of these big SUVs have OnStar right in them. Why can't they track the car through OnStar?
OnStar can track the car, but only after the owner reports it stolen. Very often, by the time they call and report it stolen, it's already been stripped.
Especially
and the thieves know how to disconnect the OnStar. Also, I should say, GM called late today and said that they have designed a new steering column that has a stronger lock, and they're testing it right now.
Okay, because if they don't test it, the thieves will.
They sure will.
All right, Scott, good report. Thanks.
Absolutely.
So the big question, is your vehicle a target? Well, all you have to do is go to WXYZ.com. We have a list of all the cars and the trucks with the highest theft rates on them. By the way, Scott also takes an in-depth look at what GM could be doing to solve the problem. You'll find that all right now. Just log on to WXYZ.com.